Hey guys, Jason Z with BiowarriorNutrition.com. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 healthy foods you should never eat, nowhere, not anytime. There's a lot of misinformation and confusion about products labeled organic, free-range, sugar-free, fat-free, and the list goes on and on and on. I know it can be a real challenge to know what's healthy these days, so I'm going to go over the top 10 healthy foods you should never eat to help you and make it easier for you guys. If you ask most people, they'll probably tell you they're probably pretty healthy. But the truth is, when we look a little bit deeper at everyone's diets, we quickly find that they're making a lot of unhealthy choices each and every day. But can you really blame them? With confusing advertising and labeling like all natural, organic, or sugar-free, again, it's a real challenge to know what's even truly healthy and what selection to even make. So we decided to make things easier for you, and we're going to give you a list of the top 10 healthy foods you should never eat, nowhere, no time. Most of these foods contain dangers like processed sugars, gluten, hormones, antibiotics, and GMOs. Many of these can trigger your body into inflammation overdrive, derailing your hormones, and throwing your body into an unhealthy state. Number 1, soy. Most people believe soy is actually really healthy. However, most soy grown in the United States is genetically modified. Genetically modified soy is engineered to be grown to withstand the herbicide and the use of the popular weed killer Roundup. The active ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate, which according to a recent study has been linked to many health problems, including cell death in humans. GMO soybeans have also been found to contain high residuals of glyphosates, which means we're eating weed killer literally every time we're consuming non-organic soybeans. Many health experts also agree that the long-term use of soy products like soy protein has been linked to many conditions like breast cancer, asthma, hypothyroidism, kidney disease, allergic rhinitis, also known as hay fever. Soy also contains powerful plant compounds called phytoestrogens. This is a key here. These phytoestrogens, when eaten, may affect how a person produces estrogen inside their body. Estrogen is a hormone released in a woman's body that regulates her menstrual cycle. Estrogen is produced by the body's endocrine system. These phytoestrogens have been called endocrine disrupting compounds because they have been connected with the potential to cause adverse health effects like hormonal imbalances, which is absolutely running wild these days, especially with women and younger women. All the reasons listed below are the biggest reason soy is one of the top 10 healthy foods you should never eat anytime, anywhere. Instead of consuming soy milk, soy protein, or even soy sauce, use coconut aminos. You can also use organic hemp protein. You can use almond milk or coconut milk instead. If you still do want to enjoy soy from time to time, choose fermented organic soy products instead. Number 2, vegetable oils. Vegetable oils may very well be one of the most unhealthy foods you can ever eat. Canola oil, corn oil, safflower oil, and peanut oil are all potent inflammatory foods that contain trans fats, which are not healthy. Most also use genetically modified hydrogenated oils to make things worse, which has been connected with several conditions like birth defects, cancer, diabetes, digestive disorders, heart disease, high cholesterol, liver problems, obesity, sexual dysfunction, skin reactions, and even sterility. Instead of using hydrogenated oils like vegetable oil, try cold press organic extra virgin coconut oil, cold press olive oil, or even avocado oil are all a great substitute for vegetable oils. Number 3, artificial sweeteners. The name artificial says it all, my friends. Artificial sweeteners are fake sweeteners marketed as healthy sugar substitutes for those wanting to lose weight or mostly those suffering from diabetes. They claim that they're beneficial because of their low glycemic index, but the fact is new research is indicating that artificial sweeteners can actually cause negative alterations to your gut flora inside of your intestines, potentially causing gluten intolerance and also increasing the risk of diabetes. To make things worse, sugar substitutes like aspartame have also been linked to allergies, bladder cancer, brain tumors, headaches, lymphoma or leukemia, seizures, weight gain, obesity, and much, much more. Beware of sugar-free gums and any sugar-free products. Always read the label before making a decision, as many contain artificial sweeteners like xylitol, erythritol, lactitol, or sorbitol. These sweeteners are all extremely processed and almost always contain genetically modified ingredients like corn. Instead of using artificial sweeteners, try green leaf stevia, dates, or raw honey as a healthy substitute. Number 4, factory farm meats. Meats produced in conventional factory farms are fed drugs like antibiotics, hormones, and an unnatural grain diet laced with chemical pesticides and fertilizers. In a study conducted in 2012, researchers found evidence of FDA banned antibiotics in poultry products. That's right, the FDA had banned these antibiotics and they later actually found them in poultry. In addition to the antibiotics, the study also showed that 59 pharmaceuticals and personal care products were also discovered as well. Listen, my friends, and that's not even the worst of it. It actually gets worse. Arsenic-based drugs have been used deliberately in U.S. poultry production for decades. A study concluded that feeding poultry arsenic-laced drugs resulted in a higher level of toxic arsenic in humans. What does that mean? That means if we're eating arsenic-filled poultry, what's going to happen to us? It's going to get into us, right? Of course. So avoid factory farm meats at all costs. Instead, opt for 100% grass-fed and, when possible, from local family farmers or ranchers. Ask the farmers how the animals are being cared for and if they are grass-fed or grain-fed. Make sure the animals are not treated with hormones or antibiotics. Consider the conditions the animals are raising in. For instance, grass-fed and pasture-raised animals have access to food for forage, which they would naturally eat in the wild. Beware of products labeled free range, because unlike what it suggests, it doesn't mean that the animals grazed on the range as suggested. It only means that the animals were given free access to the outdoors, but there's no space or outdoor condition requirements, so it can be very, very misleading. Number 5, conventional dairy. Conventional dairy not only includes things like hormones, antibiotics, and genetically modified fed cows, but research also suggests that conventional milk has a poor healthy fat profile compared to the fat profile of organic milk. A study in 2013 conducted that conventional dairy had an average omega-6 to omega-3 essential fatty acid ratio of 5:8, while organic milk's ratio was that of 2:3, which is more natural. That's nearly 3 times as much omega-6, and that's one of the problems in America today is we're getting way too much omega-6, which is totally throwing us off, raising our cholesterol levels. The study also concluded that the healthier ratio of fatty acids in the organic milk was because the animals had access to pasture and forage-based feeds on organic farms. Another challenge with conventional dairy is that it's pasteurized, which kills and destroys live enzymes, probiotics, and nutrients by exposing them to high heat, which ultimately nukes the milk like an atomic bomb. When dairy is pasteurized, the natural enzyme lactase is destroyed by the heat, which causes problems with the digestion of the milk sugar lactose. Thus, you get lactose intolerance. Another product to be aware of is low-fat dairy. Low-fat dairy has been marketed as a healthy alternative to full-fat milk, but the reality is, my friends, it's not. In a 2006 study, researchers found a strong case for consuming full-fat dairy versus low-fat dairy. The study concluded that of the 18,438 women that were tested, the ones who consumed full-fat dairy were less likely to be obese or overweight compared to those that consumed the low-fat dairy. Instead of conventional pasteurized dairy, try raw milk and raw cheese. Unlike pasteurized dairy, raw dairy products are not pasteurized, so they preserve the vital nutrients, enzymes, and beneficial organisms to properly digest the milk and absorb the nutrients from it. Raw dairy products can usually be found in local health food stores, so just go ahead and check with your local grocery store, your local health food store, and see if they have it. Number 6, shrimp. Shrimp have been called the cockroaches of the sea for a good reason, right? Here's a few health reasons why you should not eat this tiny crustacean. Shrimp contains additives, which is used to prevent discoloration in shrimp and other shellfish. This additive acts as a xenoestrogen inside the body. Xenoestrogens are substances with estrogen-like effects that are raising international health concerns. This additive has been linked to lower sperm count in men and increase in the breast cancer risk for women. How many people are having problems having children these days? Are these xenoestrogens to blame? Organophosphates are a group of pesticides widely used in shrimp farms. These chemicals have been linked to memory loss and tremors. Malachite green is a chemical often used to kill fungus on shrimp eggs. It's popular among shrimp farmers because it's cheap, effective, and widely available. However, it is also a potential carcinogen that has been found to cause tumors in laboratory mice and rats. Did you know that the shrimp that you're eating contains all of these things prior to it even hitting your table? I was absolutely astonished when I found out this information, but it actually gets worse. Rotenone is a chemical used to kill off fish living in the shrimp ponds before it's stocked with young shrimp. This chemical is very dangerous, and if inhaled, it actually can cause respiratory paralysis. Research shows that chronic exposure to a common pesticide can reproduce the characteristics of Parkinson's disease in lab rats. Organotin compounds are also added to shrimp ponds prior to stocking young shrimp to kill mollusks. These compounds are hormone disruptors which mimic hormones like estrogen and may predispose someone to obesity. To make things worse, Oceana reported that 25% of the wild or presumed to be caught wild shrimp were actually farm raised. So you think you're buying wild caught shrimp, but in actuality, it's actually farm raised. That's why we're recommending to try wild caught cod, like Alaskan wild caught cod, instead of eating farm raised shrimp or wild caught shrimp. Number 7, fruit juice. Many people believe fruit juice is a healthy alternative to drinks like soda. However, this could not be further from the truth. Most fruit juices are comprised of mostly juice from concentrates, which isn't really even juice at all. Concentrates are made by using intense heat to evaporate the water in the juice to make it lighter for shipping, so it's more profitable for them. The natural enzymes and nutrients inside the juice are destroyed by the heat, creating a product extremely high in fructose, otherwise known as sugar. Our bodies are not designed to deal with high amounts of fructose, so the fructose is then processed by the liver, where it's then broken down into fat. Fruit juices can also contain high fructose corn syrup, which is a nasty ingredient often added to almost all food products today as a sweetener. High fructose corn syrup is usually genetically modified and is typically composed of approximately 55% fructose. Plus, it's also been known to contain mercury as well, which is a neurotoxin. When opting for fruit juice, try fresh pressed juice, which is not pasteurized or been sitting on the shelf, because it contains all the nutritional benefits raw juice can provide. Number 8, table salt. The standard table salt sitting on most restaurant tables is definitely one of the top healthy foods you should definitely never eat because it's highly processed and void of any nutrition at all. Unlike sea salts, which are typically dried with minimal processing, table salt is heavily processed, which removes its natural occurring minerals like iodine. So then they go in and they replace the iodine with potassium iodine in potentially toxic amounts in an attempt to supply the iodine lost. The salt is further processed using high heat to dry it, then additives are added to prevent clumping, and finally dextrose is added to stabilize the mixture, which then turns it purple. Go figure. The salt then finally has to be bleached before shipping to restaurants and stores worldwide. A better option instead of using table salt is to substitute with the real thing, like mineral-rich Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt. Number 9, Atlantic salmon. Farm fish like Atlantic salmon or tilapia are another healthy food you should never eat. Here's a few reasons why. A study in 2004 revealed that dioxin levels in farm-raised salmon were found to be 11 times higher than those found in wild salmon. If you're not aware, dioxins are environmental pollutants. They belong to a group of dangerous chemicals known as persistent organic pollutants, or also known as POPs. These environmental pollutants have been linked to organ damage and cancer. In a published study in 2011, researchers reported that mice fed farm salmon fillets contributes to several metabolic disorders, which is linked to type 2 diabetes and obesity. The increased risk, which may have been from the persistent organic pollutants or the POPs that are typically higher in farmed salmon. A study by Sterling University in 2016 showed that omega-3 levels in farmed salmon are dropping dramatically. On average, levels of omega-3 have dropped by half in the last 5 years. One of the reasons the omega-3 content has dropped so much is because the farm salmon feed contains less ground anchovies, which are an extremely rich source of essential omega-3 fatty acids. The Food and Drug Administration approved the sale of genetically engineered salmon without labeling, leaving consumers uncertain if their fish has been genetically altered. Wasn't that nice? Thank you, FDA. Thank you for going ahead and rubber stamping these without letting us know. We appreciate that very much. We know that you have our back. Instead of eating farm fish like Atlantic salmon, try Alaskan wild-caught salmon, Pacific sardines, wild-caught yellowtail tuna, or Atlantic mackerel. Number 10, my friends, this is it. Number 10, drum roll please. Number 10, margarine. Margarine was marketed and believed to be better than butter. And it has claims like, you won't believe it's not butter. But the fact is, margarine is not better, my friends. Margarine is made from foods like soybean oil and palm oil, which are high in trans fat. Researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health estimated that trans fat causes 72,000 to 228,000 heart attacks per year. And roughly 50,000 of those are actually fatal per year. Trans fat also raises your bad cholesterol levels, LDL, and lowers your good cholesterol levels, HDL. Consuming trans fat also increases your risk of developing heart disease, stroke, and the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Instead of choosing margarine, try grass-fed raw butter or even ghee. Coconut oil and avocado oils are both excellent substitutes as well. This has been the 10 healthy foods you should never eat. In conclusion, here's a few important things to remember. Stay away from GMOs, heavily processed food like packaged fruit juices, vegetable oils, and factory farm meats. Take the time to read labels and connect with local farmers to support organic farming and higher quality foods. Consume healthy food and beverages that support healing and optimal health. I hope you guys learned a lot about healthy foods you should never eat. If you like what you learned, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up. We got a lot more videos on how to cleanse and help heal your body naturally, so stay tuned by clicking the bell notification. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more on the top 10 healthy foods to never eat or natural ways to heal your body, go to biowarriorhealth.com. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you and your family.